everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. If you're new here because you want to learn how to make a box, I'm going to do it step by step, and this is a pretty simple one. So if you're interested in learning how to make a box, you're at the right place. All right, this box measures 1.5 by 3.5 by 1, and it opens like this. And inside are Hershey Kisses for Valentine's Day. All right, I'm using the Darling Dinos bundle, which is the stamp set and the dies, plus the Stylish Shapes dies for a 2.5-inch circle. Okay. All right, so what we need for this project is some basic white for stamping. I'm using real red. On this one, I mistakenly used Poppy Parade, but I don't think it looks too bad. So you can get 2 of these out of each sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, 4 out of a 12 by 12. So this is 5.5 by 5.5, and we need some Designer Series paper. It's patterned paper, and at Stampin' Up! We call it Designer Series paper. So we need 2 pieces that are 1.25 by 3.25, 2 that are 3/4 by 3.25, and 2 that are 3/4 by 1.25. And this all will be on my blog, which is linked below on the video. All right, so let me get my Simply Scored. Now, this is a scoreboard. Stampin' Up's is called Simply Scored. All right, and you're going to use your stylus, which is right here. I use the bigger ended, the bigger ball. There's 2 balls either side, and the bigger one is the one we use. And for Stampin' Up's, it stores right down here. All right, so we're going to start on one of the 5.5-inch sides and score at 1/2, 2, 3. To score, you're going to go to your number and press and pull it down. Okay, so that was 3 and 4.5. Okay, turn it 1/4 turn to the next 5.5-inch side and score at 1 and at 4.5. And that's it. All your scoring is done. All right, now we're going to do what we call fold and burnish. This is a bone folder, and you fold all of your folds towards the bump, okay? And then you just crease them with your bone folder. All right, I've done all of them. Okay, so how your paper is sitting for us to start, there is a 1/2-inch strip, rectangle strip right here, and then there's 1 inch here, here, and there. All right, and the bumps are on the bottom. Okay, so that's how we're going to start, and I'm just going to give you an overview of what we're going to cut. All right, so that's what we're going to be cutting, the same as this white sheet. All right, so we're going to start down over here. The 1/2-inch strip is right here, so go to that first score line and cut it to the first intersecting score line. So stop right there, and then just take a little teeny diagonal wedge, and that will cut this piece off. All right, that's your first one. All right, so now we're going to go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to that first score line you come to, and then take a wedge off each side of that square right there. All right, now we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line. We're leaving this rectangle alone like we left this rectangle alone. And now this square on the end, we're going to wedge both sides. All right, so that's one side. So we're going to turn it all the way around so that that 1/2-inch rectangle is over here. And we're going to start over here again. We're going to basically do the same thing, just in the reverse order. So we're going to go to that first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of the square. Go to the next 2 score lines and cut to the first score line. That leaves the square in the middle, and we're going to wedge both sides of that square. All right, now we go over to that last score line, cut it to the first score line, and then take a little wedge up into the other side of that same 1/2-inch rectangle. And that is all the cutting we do. All right, so that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done. All right, now I'm getting what we call tear-in tape. You can get this from Stampin' Up! Too. You can also use liquid glue, but on this little piece it gets a little hard. So I use tear-in tape, or you can use Stampin' Up's Stampin' Seal Plus, which is what we use. You need a strong adhesive when it's cardstock you're closing up. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of my tear-in tape and I'm going to put it on this 1/2-inch rectangle next to that score line and just rip it off. All right, and now I'm using the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to take the backing off on that tape. So now they're sticky on this side also. And I'm going to take the whole thing and turn it upside down so the bumps are towards you. And then fold it over, and now the tape's showing, and fold over the other side to meet it. All right, and that's your box together. All right, now this is the seam. That's going to be the back part of your box right here. So you can pick either side to be the bottom as long as your crease is in the back. So the crease would be right here. And then I'm going to close the bottom of the box first. I put a little bit of glue on either side of the tabs. I push in and put some glue. Then I'm going to pull the back flap first, which is the flap that is next to the seam. And then we'll put some on the front flap and push it down. Just hold it there for a couple of minutes. And then I flip it over and I take my Take Your Pick tool or something long and I push down those tabs to make sure they really stuck on the bottom. All right, and our seam is here, and this is how the box will close. We're going to use a ribbon to close it. All right, so now we're going to take our DSP, and the two largest pieces are going to go on the front and back. And these long skinny ones on the long sides, and these short ones on the piece that's the top after you close it, and on the bottom. And I'm going to use liquid glue for all of these. All right, now we're going to let that dry and we'll do our stamping. All right, so we need some basic white for stamping. All right, so now I'm going to get some basic white cardstock. Now this is from Stampin' Up. It's very smooth, so it stamps very nicely. All right, it comes in 8.5 by 11 sheets. All right, so first let's get Tuxedo Black Ink, and this is Memento, so it does not run when you color on top, okay? All right, so we're going to do our Triceratops from Darling Dinos. Put that right on there. Great. And then we need our flower, our Valentine's Day flower. This isn't really a Valentine's set, but that's what I'm using this one for. And then we need this little piece. It's a skinny piece. It's 3/8 by whatever length, okay? And I'm going to use some real red ink and the sentiment, "You are the best." And I just want to push that right down. Okay. Now we need from the real red ink also, I'm going to put 3 red hearts. And we're going to cut them out. All right, now we're done stamping. And I'm going to cut these out with the matching dies, and I'll be right back. All right, for all this coloring, I'm only using 4 colors. All right, I'm going to use light granny apple green, light lemon lolly, light smoky slate, and dark real red. So let's start with the light smoky slate. And I'm just going to do the dots, the toenails, and I'm going to do every other on the horns. Now I'm going to do the rest of the Triceratops with the light granny apple green. And for the flower, I'm also going to use the light granny apple green for the leaves. I'm going to use the dark real red for the petals. Okay. And the center, I'm going to use light lemon lolly. All right, and that's it for coloring. All right, now we need our circle from the Stylish Sheep's dies. That is 2.5 inches. And first I'm going to I cut this down to about 2 1/8 or somewhere in, between 2 and 2 1/4 inches. And I'm going to glue this to the bottom of the circle. Just going to have it about 1/4 inch above the bottom. Okay. Then we're going to get some dimensionals for our flower and our Triceratops. Now dimensionals, if you don't know what dimensionals are, they're just some foam with sticky on both sides to pop up your image so that it looks a little bit dimensional. All right, I'm going to put the Triceratops kind of standing right on that sentiment on the left side. And then we need a dimensional for the flower. I'm going to cut one up for the leaves there. And put one right there. Okay. And then we'll just put this kind of on top of the end of the sentiment. Alright, and then for the hearts, I'm just going to put a little dot of glue where I want them. I want one there, one here, and one up here. You can also use, my hands are sticky so I can pick them up, but the other end of you take your pick tool, which has the sticky stuff on it, and just move them like that. All right, now we need our box. We put in our treats or whatever you want to put in there, and then I'm taking some silver and white sheer ribbon, and I'm going to tie it around the box and tie a bow at the top. Now we're going to make sure our bow is in the middle and we have it the right side. This is the right side. And then I'm just going to put glue on the middle of our circle. And then just put this right down in the middle, right over that ribbon, and it'll hold it in there nicely. All right, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found maybe an easy way to make a box if you've never made one before. All right, have a great day, and please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Bye.